So my name is Patricia, and so this morning I woke up and I had like this urge to just make a video. I love YouTube. I've been watching YouTube for a very long time. And I mean, I've always wanted to start a channel. Who doesn't, in all actuality? But I don't know. This morning I felt like it, and I think I have a pretty interesting story to share. So I'm gonna try it. It's probably gonna be bad. Everyone's first YouTube video is bad. I'm just gonna push through it, okay? Anyways, so I don't even know where to start. Where should I start? Well, first let's start off about what this video is gonna be about. So I'm gonna talk about, I was on meth for about 8 or so months, and I just want to talk about it, spread awareness. I'm clean now. So I guess I'll just start off by saying how I started doing meth. First, I was actually doing coke, and I actually was doing it to stay awake at my job. So I'd go to work and I'd be like falling asleep. I work at a call center. I'd be falling asleep like while I was taking calls. It was pretty bad. Looking back on it now, I think I was just feeling really lethargic due to like depression and other like mental health issues. And so I started doing coke. And so I really I used to think coke was my drug of choice. I mean, the minute I started doing coke, I'd be thinking about getting more of it. The minute I would pick up, I'd be worried about how am I gonna get more. And I would go through a lot of coke very quick. And if anyone knows, coke's hella expensive. So that obviously wasn't gonna work out in the long run. And so my mother, actually, I don't know how it started. I was in a relationship at the time, and somehow or another, she brought up meth. And I don't know exactly how it started. It's weird. You'd think you would know, but I don't remember the first time I did it. I remember how I remember doing it, but I don't remember how it got brought up, just because it was my mom. A little weird. But my ex, she was the one who basically talked to her about it, and then she came and she ran over to me and was like, your mom basically has meth and said that you could try to do some. And my mom, she looks normal, and she has her own drug addiction past. She's still doing drugs. She's still on meth. And I mean, we all kind of know about it. It's really weird, but we can't do anything about it. So anyways, besides the point. And I was kind of desperate because I had work the next day. I didn't want to be falling asleep at work. And my mom was like, here, you want to try some? And I was 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. And that day I did my first time I ever did meth. And this is something that I feel like people don't talk about a lot. But the physical aspects of doing drugs, especially in this case meth, are bad. And that night was, throughout my whole meth addiction, I had I don't even know what was wrong, but I had skin problems really bad. And that first night, I remember, it's weird because you think meth, growing up, you think meth, crackheads on the street, you don't ever really think you're gonna do it, and then when you do it, and it's actually I don't know, for me the first time it wasn't anything that I thought it would be. I wasn't cracked out, or I mean, I felt pretty much normal. I think I went to bed that night, but one thing was immediately I started picking at my skin, and maybe I'll insert pictures, we'll see. It's really gross, but I mean, if I can spread awareness, then and I can help someone and make someone not feel so alone, then it's definitely worth it. So then, basically, that was the first time, and since the first time I did meth, I didn't stop using for a whole 8 months. And it was weird because my mom was the one who would supply me with it. But then there was a while where actually I was with my cousin, and she would also supply me with it. I mean, I would pay for it, but she was how I knew people to get it. And me and my ex were both doing it. So basically, from that point on, I started doing meth every day. And my method, or the way I would do it, was I would snort it. I smoked meth a couple times, but I know that's the way more addictive route. And I mean, I was obviously not smart because I was doing drugs, but I mean, I tried to be smart about it and not do the most addictive way. And for me, it was and I think this was the same way for my ex, it was not just the drug, it was everything that came with it, doing it, buying it, the lifestyle. It became addicting, and I have a very addictive personality, and at the time I was very in a bad place. I'm not with my ex anymore, obviously, but we were together for almost 5 years. Very toxic, abusive relationship that I definitely think contributed to me doing drugs in the first place. So from that point on, I would just do drugs every single day, and like meth culture is just really weird, and it was a very weird place for me. Like, to look back on, I honestly can't even relate to who I was back then. And so basically my mom, I kind of stopped. Like, my relationship with my mom is really weird. Like, right now I'm not talking to her, we don't have a relationship, but at the time we didn't really have a relationship either at this point, right when I started doing it. So my mom was the one who I did it with the first time, but then after that I was really just with my cousin. And so my cousin and her girlfriend, actually, they are long time meth users. And I don't know, we just would like go over to their house every single day, do meth, stay up all night, and then I'd go to work the next day. And I honestly really wasn't sleeping a lot at first. Like, I would stay up 5 days in a row, get 1 hour of sleep, which looking back on it now is like, you can't function like a normal human being. I was going to work, and one thing I realized with coke is coke made me better at my job. Meth totally just changes who you are as a person and makes you not function like a normal person. So I definitely was starting to like stop functioning like a normal human being. And I feel like you could see that in my work. You could see that when I was at work and in my calls and like my performance. You could tell something just wasn't right. And so at the time, I believe, so I was just doing it. And I mean, I never really thought about like the fact that I could have died. And I know I'm laughing about it now, but it's very serious. I've just told this story so many times, and I'm kind of like desensitized to it now, which I think is pretty common. I feel like that happens to a lot of people. And so basically, we would just, like I said, that lifestyle was addicting. We just loved like staying up all night long. It was just I can't relate to it now, like I said. My skin, though, started to get really bad. Like, you can kind of see, like, this is, like, the only scar that I have, thank God. Like, I got kind of lucky with that. But I think I'm going to insert pictures of my face and how bad it got. And it really got to the point where, I mean, meth, it really does change who you are. You lose touch with reality. Like, I genuinely was losing touch with reality. And I mean, like, I thought I was, like, dying. And I couldn't see it. But, like, looking back now, like, I was really not okay. And so like I told you, like, the picking at my face for me was a big problem. Like, my ex, she never did that. My mom never did that. My mom, her skin's perfect, but for me, I think it was like an allergic reaction type of thing, and I would pick at it, and I got to the point where I was like getting needles, like picking at my face. It's gross, but it's the truth. I was like addicted to like picking at my face. I would sit at work and like all day long, and it just got really bad. I had like open sores all over my face, all over my body. And you know, that's what drugs make you do. Drugs make you not care. You don't care if you look disgusting. You don't care if it's disgusting. You don't care about any of it. And that's exactly what drugs do. And I think that like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube. I would watch YouTube videos on all the time. I would look up online, like, I didn't see myself as like a drug addict or like somebody who's on meth, like a meth addict. I didn't see myself like that. I was like thinking that I was like a functional meth user, when looking back, that was the farthest thing from the truth. I was not functioning. But I would always I held out this hope that like there was people out there who were on drugs and on meth functioning like a normal life. And I honestly never really saw myself getting off of it, because I was watching my mom, and she's been on it for years, and we honestly didn't even know for the longest time. And like, she seems so normal. Well, not so normal, but at the time I thought she was normal. And so then I think, you know, me and my ex, we just like got too into it. But long story short, there's a lot in between. But basically, me and my ex ended up breaking up. Yeah, we had a crazy relationship. It ended pretty bad, pretty crazy. And also, so we broke up the first time, and she actually told her mom about that she was on meth. And that was like the first time that anyone really had any idea, because no one really knew, and nobody even really like was like speculating. It's weird. I don't know how they didn't know. I think everyone was just, you don't realize things, you know, hindsight's 2020. So I think it was just like one of those things. But then basically she went to the hospital, like the psychiatric hospital, and because she, well, it wasn't for the meth, but ended up like she got clean while she was there. So she came back out, and so we were always like, we're gonna stop. She was like telling me like I needed to stop, and I was continuing to use while she was in the hospital. She was in for like a week. And so when she got out, me and my cousins, we were still hanging out with my cousin and her girlfriend, and we were all doing it. And I feel really bad about this and guilty. This was not cool with me. And basically my ex was like, I'm not gonna do it. And basically she just ended up doing it. So she started doing it, back to the normal, doing drugs all the time, doing meth all the time. And at the beginning, we just like really like I said, I have an addictive personality. She has an addictive personality, and we were like, we loved it. There's a lot that goes into that though. I'm not gonna get into it, but basically, so then we kept on doing it for like I said, it was like 8 months at the end, and then we ended up breaking up. So she left, and that was March 2nd, and then I still continued to do it. And I don't know, it's weird. You would think about getting clean, and I just never really thought about it. I thought I was going to be on it forever. I mean, honestly, my mental health was in a really bad place. I didn't really care if I lived or if I died, and so I guess I just wasn't thinking about any of that stuff. But basically, I'm going to talk about, it's weird because like for me, I just like one day woke up and I decided like I don't want to live like this anymore. And I know it's kind of weird, but I never thought I would want to get clean. Like never in my life. I have no idea what came over me, but then I was talking to my mother, and I just realized how out of touch with reality she is, and I just want to be nothing like her. And I realized I don't know, I was feeling, I couldn't relate to other people anymore. I felt very alone, and I just wanted to, I don't know, something inside me, I don't know. But I just called my friend, and I was talking to him, and I kind of came clean that I told him I was on meth before, but I never said I was still doing it. I lied to everybody and said I used to do it, then I wasn't still doing it, even though I was definitely still doing it. And I told him everything, and I was like, I want to get better, but I'm never going to get better if I continue to do drugs. I mean, I didn't even tell my therapist. I'm like going to therapy, but not telling my therapist the biggest part of my life. It just felt very pointless. I felt like I was getting nowhere, making no progress. And I felt like the drugs were really the one thing in the way of me just succeeding. So I was talking to my friend, and he was like, you can do something about it right now. And I was like, and I think that's like the moral of the story, or like the main message that I want to get out is like, right now you can do something about it. If you're on drugs, I don't know about any other type of drugs, but meth in particular, if you're on drugs and you really feel like you can't, or you don't have a reason to stop, I mean, that it seems like when you're on drugs, the pros outweigh the cons. Definitely, I can see how, you know, the drugs can help you perceive it that way, but I promise you that's not the truth. And nothing is worth to continue doing drugs. Like I have work on Monday. I was worried I was gonna get fired, lose my job, but none of that matters. I felt like I wanted to get clean, and that's what I did. So I called my sister, and I told her, I was like, I need to tell you something. I need help. I've been on meth for 8 months now. I just want help. I want to get better. And I asked her if she could call my dad for me and tell my dad for me, because I'm a pussy ass bitch. And so that's exactly what she did. So I hung up on the phone with her. She called my dad, and my dad called me back, and he was being really sweet, and pretty much everybody, they weren't really too surprised. But basically he called me back, and he told me he was proud of me, and I have a really supportive family, like my mom, my sister, and my dad, not my mom. And I always told my mom I would never tell anybody that she was the one who gave it to me, but I ended up telling everybody. So I told everybody the complete truth, everything. I was tired of lying, tired of living this, I was living a lie, literally. And that night I took a shower, packed some clothes, and I went and I tried to check myself in to the psychiatric hospital, or like rehab. It's kind of both. I don't know how it is in other places, but here it's both. They just mix them. And they actually wouldn't take me. It was weird. It was like this long ordeal. So I went home, went to bed, and I was really worried about I was really worried about changing my mind. So I wanted to just get there as soon as possible. But I went home, went to bed. The next morning, I actually went with my therapist, but since we're in quarantine, it was over like FaceTime. I talked to her, came clean to her about everything, asked her for what, like, you know, she told me what she thinks I should do. And so we both agreed that I should go check myself in. And that's what I did. I went and I checked myself in on, let me see. Okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I checked myself in on the 20th. No. The 14th. No. Somewhere around there. I can't remember. But I checked myself in. And so that's a whole lot. I can make a video about that if you guys would like. Let me know. I've actually, yeah, it was a pretty, I mean, I had a pretty good, like, recovery process so far. It's only been like 2 weeks. I literally only like 2 weeks clean. But basically I checked myself and I was there for about like 4 or 5 days, and I got clean. I detoxed. I haven't talked to my mom since because she's a big trigger for me, for obvious reasons. And basically I got out and I've just been trying to live a normal, healthy life, recovery, improving mental health, you know. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my story, and I wanted to tell people that you don't need a reason, like you don't need some big life thing to happen. You can get clean whenever you feel like it. Please get clean, please. Drugs are not worth it. You're harming your body, you're fucking up your brain. I mean, I could go on, but I'm pretty sure that something inside you knows. And I mean, the first time I ever did meth, I felt just so dirty. Like, my body, everything in my body was telling me no. And I wonder if anyone else feels that way. I mean, people I've talked to, they say they feel the same way. So I don't know, but it's a dirty drug. Not a good drug. It ruins lives. And I mean, my mom's firsthand, I could talk about that too. It could have ruined my life. I could have died. You know, I got lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. I got lucky with that. But yeah, I just really want to let people know out there that you don't need a big reason. You can right now, even if you have work, it doesn't matter. Check yourself in, detox, do it the right way, get the help. We have so many resources nowadays, and we really, it would be stupid to not utilize them. And I promise you, it is so much worth it. I feel so much happier now, and I feel like just 100 times better. I wouldn't go back. And I mean, I still have my hard days. I still struggle. But I'm hoping that's what this can help me with, because I think that, I don't know, I think I just need like an outlet or something. I don't know. But hopefully someone found this helpful. Please get help. Please get help. I promise you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I literally can't do anything, so I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. And yeah, well, hopefully this becomes a thing. If anyone has anything they want to know, I can talk about anything. Just let me know. I can talk more about meth use, drug use. I have a pretty fucked up family, so I mean, I was in an abusive relationship for like 5 years. I have a lot of stories for that too. And I just love to help people, share my story. I love making people feel less alone, because I know that relating to people is what really helps me. Like, I don't do well with feeling alone, and when I feel like I can relate to people, it really helps. So just let me know. Okay, bye.